Good afternoon, good morning. I guess it's more good morning. Again, I want to apologize for the issue with the recording. That happened on Friday the 24th. I'm so sorry. I didn't expect that to happen. We waited so long for it to convert, only to find Monday morning that it didn't even work. So I'm going to go ahead and record making a dream catcher. And like I said, I was going to go ahead and pick a random number and then look to see who's on the sign-in list. There was 21 of you that participated, so thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll go ahead and just get started. I'm using the same hoops as we did before. I'm using 8 feet of lace, leather lace, and I am using about 9 feet. I'm going to go black this time. Maybe you can see it better. 9 feet of sinew. Again, it's artificial sinew. I went ahead and wrapped part of it, but let me begin with showing you the loop, which I think there was a few that had a little difficulty. This is a real simple loop. It's not always the way I do it, but I'm going to do it this way. You're going to fold it in half. Well, basically, not exactly fold it, but you're going to bring it in half. Here are the open ends. Here's the closed end, as you well can see. I'm going to go ahead and use the closed end, and I'm just going to make a little knot so that I can have a loop to be able to hang my dream catcher. Here we go. There it is. Just want to make sure my volume is up enough. So here's the loop. Oops, here we are. Here's the loop. So you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, it's all looped in really, really nice. I apologize if my nails look a little crazy. I've been doing some crazy cleaning at home, and yeah. So there's our loop, and here's our open end. So remember, where do we go? So remember, I had stated we're going to put the loop in between the two. It's almost like a little cowboy riding a horse, eh? Or a little Indian boy riding horseback. So we have one facing us and one on the outside of us on the other end. If you'll notice, the hoop has a seal there. I like to always cover it either with a loop or make sure I cover it when I loop it. So when I get started, I usually loop it just a few times, and all you're doing is just winding it around the hoop a couple times. Sorry, I'm doing the Zoom in my office, so it's a little different. Sometimes I drop my hands and you can't see a darn thing. So I apologize. I'm trying to remember to keep them up high. All right, so we're going to loop it around a few times, and cheating, I'm going to clasp it with the little clasp just to hold it tight and hold it closed so that it doesn't unwind. As you well can see, it's holding the leather lace as well as the hoop, so it's wrapped up within it. So then I just kind of pull on my loop at the top so it stays on top. It might very well move the lace hook a little bit. Sorry, had a parent contacting me. Okay, so I've got it all connected and it's holding tight. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start lacing the opposite end so that, because I know that the other side is being held. So you want to just kind of hold where the tie is and keep looping the other lace. And then after a little while, you know, it'll look like this and you'll start lacing it like this. So I'm going to go ahead and lace it all the way around, halfway, directly below the loop. Here's the loop, directly below, I'll lace it all the way down, just on one side. And while I'm doing that, you can be doing it along with me. Just remember to tug on your lace, make sure it stays tight, and you're holding it a little bit as you get started so that it doesn't come loose. Uh-oh. Like mine. Got to make sure that your little clasp, your little clip stays on there. Oh, mine was coming off. So we're going to loop it around tightly. And we're going to hold on to this. I'm going to pause the video for a moment because I'm going to elevate my computer so that you can see it better. So give me just 1 second. There, I think maybe that might work better. So let me get see what happens when you let it go. It gets really loose. So if that happens, you want to push it all together. Just kind of give it a nice tug. Spin it a little bit to tighten it up. And remember to pull your leather lace nice and snug and that it doesn't go twist. Because if it twists, then it kind of stays a little lumpy. So here we go. I'm going to try and do this quickly so you can see it formed right away. And just so you know, I finished the one from the first night. Here it is. Oops. Here we go. And there it is. All nice and done. As you all can see. Maybe I'll send that one out too. And like I said, I prayed over my hoop. I prayed over my yarn. And even though I'm talking, I'm keeping certain positive thoughts in my mind. That's how I was taught. And that's how I was taught to cook as well, you know, because we put ourselves into everything we do and make. And so we don't want to put any negative things or feelings or thoughts. As I cook at a lot of ceremonies, and like I was saying that night, and there should be no bickering of any kind, arguing. There should be no animosity, no negativity, because when you cook for the people or you do things for the people, you put yourself into that, and you don't want to get anybody sick with negative thoughts or feelings. So I know sometimes I keep going low a little bit. I'm hoping, I haven't raised my chair because I'm short. And so, you know, I'm just going to keep winding it and winding it. Kind of feels strange because I feel like I'm talking to myself. So I hope this video comes out good. I want to make sure that it stays nice and firm. And it's okay if you keep moving the hoop down a little bit, as long as the clasp stays in place. You can move your hand down with it so that you're able to hold on to your lace, and just give it a little twist from time to time towards you. If you're looping it this way, if you're looping it this way, then you want to twist it the other way. So just kind of give it a little twist from time to time to make sure it's in there nice and tight. If you'll notice behind me, you'll see some ceremonial things. you'll see how this is also a Dreamcatcher. I can't really take it off the way I put it up here. This is also a Dreamcatcher. I have some little ones here that I've made in the past, like years ago. And so, you know, it's okay. See how that one's loose? It moves. It's okay if your rocks or your beads are a little loose. It's not a problem. I like to do the little ones, but that's okay. My hands are old now, so it makes it kind of hard sometimes. But it's pretty hard doing the big ones too because it takes longer. But some of you that sent me your pictures, they look so good, especially for beginners. You guys did a really, really good job. You should be proud of yourself. So again, I want to just make sure I turn it a little bit, make sure I don't overlap, give it a good tug from time to time, not too hard, just enough to reinforce it. Keep finding myself going a little too low. I'm almost to the center. And once I get to the center, I can clasp it. And you want to kind of make sure that the bottom part, well, actually the top part, doesn't come loose and start spinning this one loose. So you be careful when you remove your clasp. You're going to have to kind of get a little tricky to hold it in place, just so that it doesn't go mess up. Okay, I think I'm even here, as you all can see. I'll give it one more loop, just to make sure. So there, I'm even. So now the trick is, we're gonna open this up so that I can unclasp it. I'm gonna lean it against me so I don't go lose it. And then give it a good tug at the top and hold it against your chest maybe, and clasp it so it doesn't go anywhere. And then you're gonna get the bottom part, because now you need to wind this part. And it started getting loose already, so you wanna like just retighten it a little bit, give it a little twist. And that way you have it's not so gappy. And then you're going to do the same thing on this side. So it's just winding it over and over again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pause it because I've already shown you how to do this side, and I'm gonna wind it real quick, and I'll come back to you just right before I finish it. So give me just 1 sec, and I'm gonna pause it and show you where I'm at in about 5 minutes. Okay, so I paused the recording for like maybe 2 minutes. And now here we go. This is how far I got already. So you can do it real quick. Sorry, my hand hurts a little bit because I'm holding it real tight. I have a tendency to do that. And so I'm just gonna keep looping it around so that, oops, that overlapped. So that I get to the bottom and I will tie it off. I know I keep dropping my hands, I'm so sorry. I keep watching the hoop and not the recording, or what you can see anyway. That way, I'm almost done. As you well can see, I'm almost done. Just give it a good little tug and make sure you get it in there really good. I received some of your mail back and some of the paperwork back. I'm trying to think. Paula, I think I'm missing your pre and post. Some of you didn't have to do like the photo waiver. Like Monica, you didn't have to do the photo waiver or the prevention app. Some of you did, and I have received them. I just need you to send me the pre and post and the eval if you haven't already. Please, 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 please. Okay, I'm going to remove the clasp, which I did. That way I have it and I can see if I'm pretty even. Hope I am. Be kind of funny if I'm not. Okay, so I'm a little off. Let me unwind a little bit. And I'm going to wind the other side. Hold on. I just don't want it to go get too loose. There we go. So all I did was unwind a little bit, and now I'm winding this other side because we want it to be pretty even centered. As you well can see here, we want it to be pretty even centered, which I think it is. Because my eyes are crooked. And then we're going to tie the knot. So let me tie it. We don't want it to get loose. All right. So this one, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave the leather strips, the leather lace strips dangling. That way, if you'd like to add some pony beads or crow beads, how I was taught, you can, and just give it a nice tug. And make sure you pull on it just a little bit. Make sure that knot isn't too off. So here we go. All right. And then what I'm going to do is make sure they're kind of even. And if they're not even, you might want to just give it a little snip, which is what I'm going to do, just to give it a little more evenness to it. There we go. And just remember too, you know, things don't always come out perfect, and you don't want them to, because you put yourself into them and you want to be able to make sure your spirit that you've worked so hard with it is actually not left in what you're making. You want to let it escape. So nothing is ever perfect. So here we have it right here. You hold it to this side so you can see. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, I'm going to use black today. Hope you don't mind. I'm going to tie my sinew up around the hoop. So I'm going to pull it and give it just enough so that I can actually tie it. It's okay, you can snip it off after, but when I tie mine, I like to tie it at the base of the loop and then wrap it one time around the base of the loop. So see, I pulled it real tight, and then I'm going to knot it again. We're going to create a knot, and then we're going to create a knot. My hands will work. There we go. And so I'm pulling it again, make sure my knot is nice and tight. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around the knot a little bit, the sinew. I'm going to wrap it around just to give it a little more reinforcement, except you want to make sure you get it under the knot, not over the knot. Okay, so there we go. It's under the knot, as you well can see. And then we're going to tie it off one more time. We're going to make a knot again. And I tend to do it about 4 times, just to make sure it doesn't come off. So let me tie my knot, and it's just a basic knot, nothing special. I just need a little firmer surface. So I'm setting it down on the desk, and there's one knot. So that makes 2. Or ties, I guess 3 ties, 4 ties. 1, 2, so it's technically 2 knots, not 4 knots. So you wrap it once, wrap it twice, wrap it a third time, wrap it a fourth time, giving us a total of 2 more knots. So here we go. So you see, it's tied. I don't clip this until the very end. Choice is yours. I just like to make sure it's sturdy. I'll wrap it maybe around I like to wrap it sometimes around the knot, just so that it stays out of my way. Sometimes I forget to cut it, and that's okay. You know, if it comes out, you'll remember and you can cut it off if that's what you so choose to do. Okay, usually it stays up a little bit. So now we have our sinew tied up. So now what we want to do is we want to start, oops, last thing I need is for them to get caught in my keys over here. Okay, so here we go. Let's get everything out of the way. There we go. All right, so I have 3 beads. Let's see what I use. And we're going to go ahead and start. Now remember, I put my thumb in to do my first wrap, and I'm going to pull it through so that when I pull it through, it's on top of the other piece of sinew. If you see how it's on top, I just wrapped it in, and there we go. There's our first one. So we're going to do that however many times you choose. I'm going to try and keep it the same width each time. I don't know if I will. I'm going to try. And like I said, nothing is ever done wrong. You can always redo it. Somebody had said that they had to redo it about 5 times. That's okay. Sometimes that's how it works. So there's my second one. And it's going to look like that all the way around, because that's where you're going to start looping the rest of it. But remember, when you wrap it around, you're going to bring it through the inside, so it lays on top of it. See? And then you pull it. Oops. And then you pull it. So there's our second one. I like that I have a white wall behind me, so you can see it easier. And I think the black makes it easier to see as well. You don't have to use black, you can use any color. And there's our third one. So now I'm going to wrap it around a few more times till I get it all the way around. There we go. This way, we don't have any problems, and we're able to loop through our sinew. This is why I like to cut these off, because to me they get in my way, but I'm not going to do that this time. So here we go. Going to wrap it around, and there's that part. So here we go. We're going to pull it through, and there we go. And do the same again. This is our first looping. So here we go. Let me finish it up. The sinew's long, so you just got to pull it through. You can always pull it this way to tighten it up. So it's coming along, slowly but surely. It's coming along. And then we're going to pull it through. I think what I'll do is maybe I'll call one of my granddaughters and ask them to pick a number between 1 and 21, and we'll see who they pick. Because like I said, I had 21 participants, and so We'll see who gets it. Or maybe I'll have Mr. Mike come in here and pick a number. Because honestly, I don't even know who I put down. I just had to type out the sign-in sheet with everybody's name on it. So you see, here we go. This is the front side. You'll see what the back side looks like. We always want to put the back side that shows a lot of the work. You know, sometimes our little errors are back there, and that's okay too. You know, it's just, okay. So now we're at the top. We've got it all wrapped around, nice and neat. So now we're going to go into the first little gap we have here that we made. And how that works is you get the end of your sinew, somewhere around here, the end of the sinew. You want to pull on it, make sure it stays straight, and you're going to, a little long. So you're going to put it into, oops, you're going to start from the inside against you, and you're going to slip the sinew in. Sometimes you have to open it a little bit, it's okay. You're going to, don't pull it through that way. You're going to bring it around back towards you and pull it towards you. And you're going to bring it all the way in. And there starts the first one. And you're going to do the same with the next one. It doesn't look like anything, it doesn't look like much when you first get started, and that's okay. Again, you're going to pull it, push it through from your side in to the outside and pull it back towards you again. It's all you're going to do each time. And then now you'll see how it starts. The first loop doesn't seem like much, but then when you do the second one and pull, and I like to tend to hold on to that first, well, technically the second loop, just so that it stays tight, and you're gonna put it through again and pull it through back over the loop you created, and you're just gonna give it a nice little tug. And there we go, we're starting to make our dream catcher. And it's pretty long. So, and believe it or not, it takes about 9 to 10 feet depending on the size. So we're gonna put it through. And we're gonna pull it. And we're starting to weave now. And remember that trickster spirit that went into the spider, Iktomi, you know, to the Lakota elder, you know, share it with him when he was weaving his web on the hoop of that elder's medicine hoop. So I know we're supposed to do, or not supposed to, we're going to be painting next month. We're going to be painting some little gourds. So that'll be fun. Hopefully there's enough. I believe I have about 35 of them. And so we should be okay. Should be enough for everybody. If I get too many participants, may not. I might have to do, even though I'm still contemplating it, I'm thinking maybe we'll do some medicine wheels, and I can do a lesson on the medicine wheel for next month, which is a really, really nice lesson to discuss. As you all can tell, we're starting to weave. Oh, the web we weave, huh? You know, that's why when we do the things that we do to create, whether it be creating art or cooking's an art, Here we go, see it? So it's gonna take a little bit, good thing. We're on here for quite a while. If for any reason it takes longer than anticipated, then I will get back on and keep recording. Might have to send you 2 links. Okay, so here we go. So we're gonna keep weaving it. But remember, when you do weave, it can be frustrating when you're not familiar or it's your first time, you know. The way I was taught, not trying to tell anybody they have to do it that way either, but the way I was taught in a traditional sense, you know, is to think good thoughts. That's why we pray. Like I said, I prayed before. I prayed over all the things that I worked with, that I'm using here this morning, in hopes that this Dreamcatcher comes out in a good way. Everything I'm doing in a good way. That's why there should be no negativity around when you create them. And if for any reason you become frustrated, you know, or for some reason negativity enters, and it happens, we're not perfect people. You know, you get frustrated, put it down, step away. If you use sage, light some sage, you know, create, and come back to it. It's okay to come back to it, you know, come back and to redo it, you know, to continue doing it. So that first one we made, which is a little tiny funky little one right there, we're going to go ahead and put it in that one as well. We don't want to skip over it just because it doesn't look right. You want to, so that it pulls it when you're weaving and it makes its form. And then you're going to pull on it and see, there we go. There's that very first one that we created. So it's right there. You see how it's already starting to weave itself. Like I said, it reminds me of that little sketching thing I used to play with as a kid, spirograph. I don't know if they still have it around. It's pretty cool. I like it. It was kind of relaxing to me after school to play with it and make my own designs. But this is what I think of when I see them. It takes me back to my childhood. It's kind of fun. And again, you know, Dreamcatchers, like the story went, you're supposed to put it in the bedroom over a bed, above a bed, so that the child or the individual sleeping in that bed, in that room, has good dreams. Nothing, all the bad dreams get caught in the web, you know, just like a spider web, you know, things get caught in it. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna weave a little bit and I'll come back to you in about 5 minutes and you can see how far I've gotten. Okay, so I decided to unpause it sooner because it's just too quiet. When I'm in the office and I'm supposed to be meeting with people, I don't like it so quiet. I feel like I'm talking to myself, but I'm hoping you see and hear what's going on. Again, I apologize for the way, I don't know what happened. It took so long that night. It took 20 minutes for that video to finally convert. And who would have thought I could have been home if I had known it was going to be corrupt. I didn't get home till almost 9 o'clock that night, waiting for it to convert. So we've gotten far on this. Again, that's the bottom. So we'll see. I picked some really pretty beads. Well, I think they're pretty. Hopefully you'll like them, whoever receives this. Tina, I hope you're logged on to watch this. And I will be probably sending you the children, the little child's Dreamcatcher, so they can try on their own. And then I'll send you an extra hoop and stuff so you can try again. So all we're doing is just weaving into, I know they kind of look like triangles, you know, little triangles, and just weaving in and out of it. That's all I'm doing. And that's, so if you don't see it, sorry, but I try and hold it up as often as possible, as much as possible. Hope everybody has some nice plans for the weekend. My little grandson is turning 10. One of my little grandsons is turning 10 this weekend. Well, the 4th, but his little, I guess, birthday dinner with just a few of us will be celebrating his birthday Saturday evening because it's mighty warm over here. So enjoy your weather, Tina. Oh my goodness. It is 105 degrees out this way. My tribe on my mother's side were coastal people. I don't even understand what I'm doing living in Fresno. It is hotter than the devil's armpit, I am sure. I love the weather up in Salinas and Monterey, Santa Cruz. I love it even more in Oregon. My husband's tribe is from Oregon. They're of the Siletz tribe, so coastal up on Lincoln City. It's a really beautiful area. Their hotel and casino is right on the beach. I open my back door when we stay there in the hotel. I open the back door and it's ocean front. Absolutely gorgeous. Traditionally, though, their tribe is actually inland, but because there was so few, because they're Umpqua and Coquille, I always tease them because we'll be in the grocery store and I'll see the Umpqua ice cream and I'm like, hey, look at your tribe, their ice cream. But because of all the killings and the colonizing, a lot of the tribes were left with very few people in those areas, and so they merged them together. That's why they're a confederated tribe called Confederated Tribes of Siletz Indians of Oregon. But my children, my husband, I say my children because they're registered, because they're a federally recognized tribe. At the time they were born, you know, they were federally recognized, so I made sure I enrolled them in that tribe instead of mine. And of course, you can only be enrolled in one tribe, so you know that's the best way to get rid of us. But they so when they merged them all together, they also moved them, just like the Trail of Tears for the Cherokee. There was also the Rogue Walk, and they walked them all the way to the ocean area, you know, by the ocean, and put them on the reservation there. And so many died because they went from inland, you know, and of course due to the mistreatment. But my husband's, let me make sure I get this right. I believe it's my husband's 5th great-grandfather, Tenistai, was one of the last treaty signers of that tribe. And then his 4th great-grandfather, Chief John Ponce, he was, maybe it's his 3rd. second, because it was, I believe that, no, I think it's his fourth. I believe it was my husband's grandmother, his mother's mother, was a little girl. She was 3, and she lived with the grandparents. I believe it was her great grandparents, because her mother had passed. So many people had died from disease that was brought to them by the colonizers. And she was 3 and her sister was 5 when BIA came and took them to boarding school. And can you imagine being stripped from your mother, or your children being stripped from you at such a young, tender ages, you know, only to endure atrocities, you know, by those so-called Christians at that time, you know, thinking that they had to beat these children and harm them in order, you know, to spare their lives, you know, for their God. And all the while, our people were always godly people, you know, spiritual people. And so, anyway, her sister, we used to call her Auntie Sister. She's long passed already. They both have. But she succumbed. She became a nun, very well-educated nun, who after the tribe was, they lost their tribe. They said they no longer existed. You know, the government, how it does that sometimes. And so she fought in the 70s, thank goodness she was highly educated, and she got the tribe re-recognized, you know. Creator was merciful, you know, and he knew what they had suffered. My husband's grandmother, his mother's mother, this other sister, she was a rebellious one. Oh, boy, was she a rebellious one. But thank goodness she had that fight in her. And eventually, after being moved from, I believe it was called Chilliwack boarding school in Oregon, she was moved around all over the place, wound up, mind you, from Oregon up pretty high, close to Portland. She wound up in Sherman Indian School in Southern California, only to have become pregnant, have her baby taken from her because the nuns couldn't have a baby in there. You know, she had sinned, and gave the child up for adoption. The nuns did, and when she turned 18, she could get out, and she was going to go back home when they told her that it would probably make no sense for her to go back home because her grandparents were dead. So if that wasn't enough, right? She endured a lot. They both did. You know, there's a lot. If you have a chance, I know it's on Amazon Prime. I'm not sure if it's on any other channels, but it's called We Were Children. It's a documentary of 2, a man and a woman, and the atrocities they endured in boarding school in Canada. And mind you, the last Canadian boarding school closed either in 75 or 95. I can't remember right now. Sometimes I get dates mixed up. I want to say 1995. But yeah, the boarding schools were fierce. It caused a lot of trauma, and that trauma became so intense that it literally is embedded within our DNA. Intergenerational trauma. You know, I think a lot about my husband's grandmother. She loved my children very much, but then again, my children's father, my husband, was her pride and joy. She was quite partial to my husband. So thank goodness my children were brought up, you know, they were very respectful. They respected her. They weren't wild. They got wild later, but they weren't wild around her. They listened, and she loved their respect, but she forgot her language. She didn't know how to speak. She suffered a lot, an awful lot. you know. And when you take a child so young and put them in a violent, ugly environment like the boarding schools where they got whipped and beaten, raped, you know, just horrible things that a child should never endure. You know, to me, I look at it as being trafficked. So one of the first, well, not one, but it's a form of trafficking. You know, you take them and do what you want with them, and that's just so horribly sad. So when you're not around your family and your traditions, you don't know what to do. You don't know how to raise your children. All you know is violence. And so a lot of these children who became adults, who became parents later, you know, the ones that did commit suicide, they they beat their children a lot. And that's a lot of suffering because that's what they were taught. That's what they knew. It wasn't the right way. They didn't know what to do. So, you know, there's a training I went through, Mending Broken Hearts, which is a really good training. You know, it talks about forgiving the unforgivable, you know, and it's the only way to move forward is, you know, even though the person who hurt you or the people that hurt you, they don't know you have forgiven them and they don't need to know. Only you need to know. You have to be able to find the will to forgive. And that's not always easy. That's why going back to traditions, like even though the sinew isn't traditional sinew, it's not from an animal, you know, it's not the guts of an animal, so to speak. Sounds crazy. Either way, you're still creating and you're still pulling on the roots, tugging on your roots and traditions. So it's good to do these things. It helps heal, you know, it helps heal. So don't forget that, you know, even when we're feeling down and out, you know, look to some things, you know, pray your way, you know, ask Creator for a little bit of help. We're getting down to the last of it, and I didn't put any beads in it. So let me go back. Let's pull it apart. That's what I get for talking too much. I went on and on and on. I'm going to take it and unwind it just a couple times, just so we can get a couple beads in there, because I don't want to send it to you without any beads, whoever's going to get it. So we're going to put one right now. And I think I'm going to put this beautiful green one. It's really pretty. Look, it's a really pretty bead. So I'm going to put that in there. Oh my goodness. There we go. There we go. All right. So I have it in there. So now let me go to my next weave. And there it is. Look at that. That looks pretty. And so let me weave one more time. And I will insert another bead. Well, maybe not right away. There we go. There's one. And we're going to weave another. There's two. All right, so maybe we'll go four. Here's three. You pull it really good. And then I'll go into the fourth weave. And after the fourth weave, we'll insert the next bead. And then we're gonna tie it off. So let's go with a pretty blue one. Oh, I dropped it. There we go. Let me just pull on this a little bit. See, maybe the little hole is too little. It won't go in. Let's see. My hands are full of wax from pulling on this sinew. Let's see, we'll give it one more try. See if it'll go in. Oh, landed on the ground, so we're not going to find it. If not, it's going to have one bead. Kind of wanted that one, but it hit the floor, and I don't know where it's at. I am so sorry. We kind of wanted that one because it was a bright color, but that's okay. We're going to give it a little dark one. Let's see, or we might just leave it with one. Maybe the beads I got were just a little too small. Let me see here. Sometimes you have to like pull on it to make it real narrow, kind of give it a little twist so it stays small. Let's see if it worked. Well, it don't look like it wants to go in. I am so sorry. Let me give it a tiny little snip because it's a little frayed. There we go. Give it a tug. Let's see if that worked. Nope, it doesn't want to go in. I am so sorry. You're going to get one bead on this one. It's a pretty bead though, the one that's on there already. Ha, I got it. So we're going to pull on it, push it in there, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to tie it off. So I'm pushing it through because it's a little short. There we go. I'm going to loop it so I can tie it. And you're just going to tie it. There we go. However you can. You're just going to make a little knot. That's it. That's all you can do. And mind you, it's 9 feet worth of sinew that we're using here. Oh, here we go. Trying to tie it off might be a little tricky here for me because it's a small piece of sinew. Let me see. Maybe because I'm going into the wrong loop. It's not letting me tie it right. There we go. Now I can do it. My hands are so sticky. It just keeps pulling it away. Here we go. All right. Now to make one knot, I'm going to give it 2 knots. Good Lord. Here we go. Can be a little tedious. That's okay. We can make it work. Possibly. If not, we're going to have to take it apart again and redo it. Here we go. If I can get my fingers to work, my sausages. Here we go. Okay, there's one knot. There's one knot. And we're going to get the second knot going. Let me see here. And once we have the second knot, my advice to you is don't do what I did and do a real small one. But I have a tendency to challenge myself a little bit so I can use as much as possible. So if you leave it a little longer, it'd probably be better. I think I gave all of you 10 feet of sinew just to play it safe. There we go. It's knotted completely. And I knotted it right along the bead. See that? So there's the bead. And I'm going to tie off or cut off, excuse me, the sinew. And there it is. Lo and behold, we have the Dreamcatcher. Oops, oh goodness, sorry. Here we go. We have the Dreamcatcher with the bead. And this is one of my favorite kind of beads right here, the glass bead. So we are done. We have completed it. Look at that. Isn't that something? All right. So we're going to do a drawing, and I'm going to put Mike on speaker so he can pick a number from 1 to 21, and then I will look at the sign-in sheet and see just who that number belongs to. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the other little piece of sinew and see. There we go. That way there's not so many little danglies. And then we're going to leave it like this. And when I send it to you, maybe I'll send you some pony beads with it so you can put them up in there. Or maybe I'll just do it for you. And there we go. Just to give it a little more pizzazz. So there we go. Let me give Mike a call. There it is. Ooh, let me clean my hands. Back at his desk. I'm going to call his desk number.
You reached out for Grand Jury Tribal Tennis.
So let me try his desk number. Maybe he left for lunch. Hope not.
Hello, you've reached the desk of...
Okay, let's try front desk. Hopefully he'll pick up. If he doesn't pick up, I'm gonna have to call somebody else to pick a number. Okay. All right, so we can't find him. So let me call, I'll call, I guess, one of my girls to see what's going on. Oh, he said he left. He'd be back in a bit. He needs to go pick up some brochures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call somebody else, one of my girls, and see what number she picks. So I hope she's not too silly. Hello. Good morning or good afternoon. I need you to take a quick listen. I'm doing a drawing for my from my family night for a Dreamcatcher I made on recording. So you're being recorded, your voices. But if you could do me a favor, I need you to pick a number between 1 and 21. And I need you to be nice and loud when you pick that number. What number would you pick? Anywhere between 1 and 21. 10. Number 10? Yes. Say it louder.
10.
Okay, thank you. I'll announce the winner, number 10. All right. Bye-bye. All right, so let me pull out the sign-in sheet from the file from Friday night's event. God, I hope I put it in here. If not, I'm about to find it. Might be in my, oh, I know where it's at. It's in my other file. Okay, so attendance from Friday night. Let me see. Here it is. Is this it? Family night. Here it is. So this is everybody that attended family night. And number 10 is Rosalinda Lewis. So Rosalinda, I will be sending you this Dreamcatcher that we made here in the recording. And then let me see. Maybe I should call them back. And we'll send out one more. This one with the red. And we'll see who wins that one. So let me give them a call. So Rosalinda, I'm going to put your name down as winner here. And let me call one more time to see. I'll have one of my other girls pick a number. Can I speak to Beautiful?
Yeah, she's right here.
I need one more number picked between 1 and 21, but not 10.
Okay, 19.
Number 19?
Yes.
Say it louder.
19.
All right, thank you, sweetheart.
Welcome. Love you.
Love you too. Okay, so number 19, let's see who was number 19. 18, 19, Sadie Stroud Cummings, you are a winner. So that will also be going out. So winner, winner, chicken dinner. So Sadie, that was right. Let me write the name down here. Let me double check the name again and say it right. Sadie. Sadie, you win the one from Friday night that I finished. And Rosalinda, you get the one I finished for the recording. All right, they're a little different, just different ways of making them. So I want to tell everybody thank you. I will be posting this for you and probably inviting you so you guys can see it. However it works. I got to wait till Mike gets here to make sure because I'm not very tech savvy. So again, thank you so much, Walking Beauty, and hope to see all of you at the next family night, all right, which would be August 21st, 6 to 8 o'clock, all right? Thank you so much. Really appreciate your attendance, and I hope this helped a lot. All right, you take care. Have a good weekend.